Peace, family. Today I'll be talking about the brain, but this is not going to be a long video because I won't be going in depth. It's just to further bring forth a certain understanding. I'm taking baby steps, and then, you know, different videos that I create from the past leading up into the future will be kind of like connected. So you could take bits and pieces and you'll be like, oh, so when you connect this with that, then you realize. So that's how I get in detail. But within this video, or each video that I'm doing right now is just like surface, surface steps, one step, two step, three steps, and stuff like that. And then you're able, if you're watching the videos that I post, you're able to put bits and pieces together and create, a whole situation on what I've been talking about or a more detailed understanding of what I've been talking about. So this video is not going to be very long, but it has to deal with the brain and the third eye and the connection it has with spirituality. But first, before I say that, right, we all know there's yin and yang to life, right? Yin and yang. And yin and yang can, when you look at that symbol, I have some notes here. So yeah, when you look at the symbol yin and yang, it has multiple different ways of understanding it. It could be from a male female perspective, could be a light and darkness perspective, could be from a, multiple different understanding you could put together from that symbol. However, when it comes to the brain, it's kind of like the yin and yang also. The brain, looking from above, the brain is separated into two hemispheres, right? You have the left side of the brain and the right side of the brain. And each side each side of the brain is responsible for different functions, right? Uh, there's an old saying that says, the right side of my brain has nothing left, and the left side of my brain has nothing right. Okay, so it is like an old saying, and I didn't understand it back then, but I'm now kind of like figuring out what it actually meant. Now, the left side and the right side, looking at it, two hemispheres, right, has different functions and is responsible for different things. So I'm not going to get into the cerebrum and the cerebellum and the medulla oblongata, that responsible for locomotion, and the cerebrum responsible for intelligent activities, and the cerebellum is responsible for, other stuff. I'm not going to get into that right now, though. I'm just focusing on the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere of the brain. Okay, when you picture the brain, it's divided into two halves. Okay, and the left side of the brain actually is responsible when it comes to physical. It is responsible for the right side of the body, and the right side of the brain is responsible for the left side of the body in terms of functions and stuff like that. And also, the right side of the brain. Let me get into this and explain a little bit more. So let me read from my notes. I make little notes and stuff. So the left side of the brain, right, is right, the left side of the brain controls the right side of the body, as I said before. And number skills, mathematics, scientific skills, written language, spoken language, objectivity, analytical, logic, and reasoning. So the left side of the brain is more analytical, more logical, right? That's what you would call the masculine side of the brain. And the feminine side of the brain is more, it controls the left side of the body, which is the right side. Okay. That's why your heart is on the left side of the chest. Okay. A lot of people put two and two together. So the feminine side of the brain is on your right side. So if you want to know which side of your brain is the right and left, how to look at it, look on which side your heart is, right? And your heart, right, is on your left side, but the right side of your brain controls the left side of your body. So the right side of your brain is the feminine side, and the left side of the brain is your masculine, more analytical, more um, everything is in masculine in nature. And the right side of the brain is feminine in nature. Okay, that's why your heart is on your left side of your body. So I'm just like I'm said, this is a surface knowledge. A lot of people know this already, some people don't. So I'm just going over it. All right. So the right side of the brain, the feminine side, is responsible for 3D shapes, music, art awareness, intuition, creativity, imagination, subjectivity, synthesizing emotions. The right side of the brain, where your heart, on the left side of your body, emotions. Okay, and facial recognition and stuff, so forth and so forth. However, from my experiences about spirituality and how it connects with the human body and stuff like that is that the the right side of the brain, which is the feminine side of the brain, is also connected to the dream state. Things that are more like spiritual in nature or intangible in nature, or like emotions and stuff like that, love, hate, anger, sadness. That's the right side. Don't look at the camera because my camera is kind of like inverted, so I might do this and it's on the opposite side, but just bear with me, okay? So the right side of the brain is the feminine side of the in nature, and the left side is masculine in nature. So you have the yin and the yang coming together, the masculine and the feminine, which makes a whole. And that is how the body is able to function, right, along with many other things that are balanced in nature. Okay, so the it is safe to say that the right side of the brain, the feminine side, because of its nature, intuition and love and emotions and stuff like that, it is connected more towards spirituality, right? The spiritual aspect of life. And the right side of the brain, the left side of the brain, which is masculine in nature, is more geared towards the more physical, the more tangible things in life, writing and stuff like that. And it's very analytical. And therefore, you have the understanding. Now you have the understanding of the feminine and masculine. We both have it in us. We both have both feminine and masculine energies, or by nature, we both have both within our body. We have both, so hopefully you're following me. I'm going a little bit quick, but um that is it. That is part of what is going on here when it comes to the dream state, right? Because in life, we have duality. We have, just think about the yin yang, okay? So when we are operating on a more masculine side of things, we're in our conscious state or conscious mind of or conscious awareness. Therefore, it's our day-to-day activities that we, when in our waking period, when we are awake and doing things, doing physical stuff, that's acting within the masculine energy, within the masculine side of life. While we're asleep or in the unconscious state, that is now the right side of the brain, which is our intuition and our sleep state and our dreams. Most of our dreams comes from the the feminine side of the brain, which is the right side. Okay, because it deals with intuition. It deals with things that are more intangible. And if you think of it, if you look at it, it really makes sense, because while you're asleep, your physical body is at rest, right? Now you're in a unconscious state, and in that unconscious state, the feminine side of the body takes over, of the brain, sorry, takes over, and that's how we are connecting between the physical and the spiritual realms. Okay, now it gets a little bit deeper than that, obviously, and I just wanted to go over how we view the brain and the different parts of the brain. So there's something within our pineal gland. The pineal gland is, if you have both sides of the brain, right, the left and the right side, in the middle, behind the eyes, in the middle, you have a small thing called the pineal gland. The pineal gland, you could look it up, Google it, whatever, and you'll see an image of it. It will show you a side view of the pineal gland and what it looks like, and it looks like an eye, right? It looks, a lot of people call it the third eye, and it's responsible for also awareness and stuff like that. However, it is a little bit more to the pineal gland than we often think, because now if you go into, like, for example, ancient Egyptian studies and stuff like that, you will realize that there are two eyes. There's the eye of Horus and the eye of Ra. And and it confuses a lot of people because they look at it as these two eyes that we're wearing here, that we're using in the physical, right? And when in actuality, if you split the pineal gland down the middle, just like you split the brain in left and right hemisphere, right, and open the pineal gland up, you have two sides of it, and both looks like an eye. But the eye, one side is, because it's centered in the middle of the brain, the pineal gland is actually connected to both sides of the hemispheres as well, the both the male, the masculine and the feminine side. So when you open it up, now you have the eye of Ra, which is the masculine. Follow me, if people that knows about the third eye. Now you have the eye of Ra, which is the masculine side of the pineal gland, and you have the eye of Horus, which is the feminine side of the pineal gland. And it does the same thing. The eye of Ra is more of power based, more analytical, more, it deals with, masculinity, you know, is almost like the sun and the moon. The sun is masculine in nature, the moon is feminine in nature. So it deals with the, and that's why the moon is at night. If you notice, the moon comes out at night. If you want to not technically, if make it technical, okay? The moon comes out at night, and it comes out during the dark period. It's signifying the unconscious state when you go to sleep. When you go to sleep, you're in an unconscious state. Your eyes are closed. You're in, like, kind of like darkness, right? But that's when the intuition and everything comes about, because now you're operating not from the physical side of the brain, not physical, but the masculine side of the brain. You're now operating from the feminine side, which deals with the unconscious state and intuition and stuff like that. That's just explaining that. It's similar to, so that's just that. That's the moon and the sun, okay? And the sun obviously come out in the daytime. That most people do physical activities during the day and all that stuff during the day. That's masculine in nature, okay? Now, when it getting back to the eye of Ra and the eye of Horus, what I'm trying to explain here is a lot of people don't know the difference between, I mean, they know that there's a difference and they know that there's two eyes, but they don't know that it's actually one, the pineal gland, which is split down the middle and open up, which show it. And once you split it down the middle, it looks like an eye. So when you open it up, it's two eyes. So you have now the masculine side and the feminine side, which is Ra and Horus. Okay, the feminine Horus is the feminine side. Ra is the masculine side, raw power, solar, like the solar, the sun, things like that. And then you have the feminine side, which is more intuition, more towards spirituality. And that's the connection, the pineal gland make, that's the connection between the third eye, right? The eye of Horus, the eye of Ra, and the spirituality and the physical realm, or the feminine energy and masculine energy. Okay. So just, and like I said, this is just a brief explanation so we understand fully. So whenever we go to sleep, a lot of people do not realize that when you go to sleep, you're now into spirituality, kind of like, not that you practice it or anything, and not that you're totally aware of what that state is. That's why we have to go to sleep. We have to be a part of both. We have to be a part of the masculine side, right? And we have to be, which is the more physical side, and we have to be a part of the feminine side, which is more intuition, emotions, dreams, state, physicality. It's more than just we going to sleep to rest. A lot of people we sleep on sleeping. You know, a lot of people we do sleep on sleeping. We think that sleep is just a thing that we do to recharge our body, which is true. It also recharges the masculine side when we're in the unconscious state, right? And while we're in the conscious state, we're charging the feminine side because the feminine, technically, that's the sleep state, that's the rest state. However, you can use both at any point in time. That's why some people sleepwalk in their unconscious state. That they're actually tapped in to doing different both sides at the same time, and that's why certain things happen. Sometimes we move in our sleep. Sometimes we do different things. We even some people speak in their sleep and stuff like that. That is them being tapped in to both sides, the physical side and the spiritual side. So spirituality is deeper than just us, um, than just worship, and it's deeper than just looking at it like from a religious perspective. You know, like this is spirituality is actually a part of the whole, a part of our life. Whether we want to think about it or not, each and every one of us is connected somehow to the feminine side and the masculine side, and spirituality and physical, way of life. Okay. We just don't know it. A lot of people just don't know and understand fully what is going on. So when you see the third eye and you see people's be like, oh, so I have two pineal glands. No, you don't. It's just the one pineal gland split in two, just like the left and right side of the brain split in two. And when you open it up, you have the masculine side of the brain and the feminine side of the brain. So you have Ra, which is raw power. This is the masculine side. And then you have Horus. Horus is just a name. Don't pay attention to the names. Pay attention to the meaning behind it. And the Horus is the feminine side, which deals with intuition and stuff like that. Okay, so that is just brief. It's just brief. I'm trying to make the dots connect. The bigger picture will come out when you actually, as I do more videos and you connect the dots with the videos. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. Please hit the like, share, subscribe. If not, I appreciate your time, and you have a great day and a great weekend. All right, peace.